crickets were chirping loudly as the sun slowly crested over the broad horizon. Rubble and debris was scattered all across the ground and slightly shifted with the morning breeze. As the sun continued to rise, the sound of running footsteps closed in on the now destroyed village. Many members of the Kikuchi went into the village, looking around and digging under the rubble.
Hello? Is there anyone here? Please call out if you can hear me.
There was a brief silence at first, before the sound of shifting rubble caught the attention of the Kikuchi member. A voice called out from underneath.
I'm down here.
The one member started to dig in the rubble, trying to reach whoever was trapped underneath of everything.
Are you injured? No, I'm fine,
she called out, helping and trying to dig herself out from beneath the debris.
I wasn't injured, thankfully, but I know that many people were.
Yuki finally managed to get out of the rubble with the help of the other person, before the Kikuchi member spoke up.
We found a few people who are alive, but heavily injured. What do you want us to do, Lady Sunefuraku?
Who have you guys found so far? Yuki asked, not wanting to waste any time.
For people who have passed, Lord Himejima and Lord Tokito were found dead, as well as Genya Shinazugawa, according to his brother Lord Shinazugawa.
Sonami's alive? She asked, looking back.
Yes, he and Zenitsu were found together, as well as Lady Kanroji and Lord Obanai. They are both in a pretty critical condition. Do you have any other leads on the whereabouts of the others?
Lady Shinobu was killed during her battle against Upper Moon too, but her Suguko Kanao is still alive as far as I know. Last time I saw her was right before the explosion that buried all of us.
Understood. We'll keep searching for the others,
the member said before beginning to walk away.
Will you take me to where Mitsuri and Iguro are? I want to see how bad their condition is.
The Kikuchi member nodded, leading the way to the medical tent that had been set up to treat the injured people. Once she got there, she saw that Sanemi and Zenitsu were awake, getting their injuries treated by other members of the Kikuchi. Sanemi spoke up when he saw Yuki enter the room.
Glad to see you weren't one of the people who died in that battle.
Same goes for you, Sanemi. How are your injuries doing? She asked, lifting his arms to look over the cuts on them.
They aren't too bad. Definitely doing better than Mitsuri and Iguro, though.
How bad are they?
They're hanging on by threads. It's not good,
he admitted, pulling back the curtain to their private bay. Mitsuri and Iguro were both heavily injured, lying unconscious on their beds. It hurt Yuki seeing her friends in such a critical condition. She gently felt their wrists for a pulse, feeling a faint one from the both of them. I can make sure they live, Yuki said, holding her hands above both of their unconscious bodies, making her hands glow a soft blue.
What are you doing, Yuki?
Sanemi asked, watching her curiously. Yuki didn't say anything, continuing to channel her power, watching as both Mitsuri and Obanai's injuries healed under the glow of her hands. Once they were fully healed, Zenitsu came over and looked at her with a gaze filled with shock.
How did you do that?
Apparently, I can heal people with my powers, she said, stumbling slightly from how much power she had just used. Sanemi saw her stumbling before he took her by the shoulders, sitting her down on one of the empty beds.
Easy. Don't overexert yourself.
One of the Kikuchi members came into the room, followed by Kanao.
Lady Sunefuraku, we found Miss Kanao and Mr. Tanjiro in the rubble. Tanjiro insisted he was fine, but Kanao was asking if you could possibly heal the injury on her arm.
Yuki silently nodded her head, raising her hand to try and heal Kanao, but Sanemi stopped her, lowering her arm back down.
Stop. You're too weak to heal another person right now.
Another? Kanao asked, looking at Yuki with a concerned gaze.
Who else did you heal?
Mitsuri and Obanai. They were on the brink of death, so
I use my powers to heal the both of them. Yuki, you can't keep using your powers to heal everyone. You're going to hurt yourself in the process.
Kanao reasoned.
That's what I've been trying to tell her, but she's too damn stubborn for her own good,
Sanemi said, crossing his arms.
I couldn't just let them die,
Yuki exclaimed, trying to stand up once again. Again, Sanemi pushed her back down onto the bed.
You can't save everyone, Yuki.
Can you all stop arguing? A voice said, everyone turning to see Obanai was now sitting up in his bed. I'm trying to sleep.
Iguro, you're awake,
she said before asking.
How are you feeling?
I feel fine. Wait, how am I not injured? He questioned, looking over at Mitsuri to see she was also completely healed.
It's a long story.
Before Obanai could say something else, a Kikushi member entered the tent.
Lady Sunafureku, come quick. Lord Tomioka is requesting your presence. Why? What's wrong? Just come quick. It's urgent.
Yuki pulled herself off the bed, still stumbling a bit. Sanemi grabbed her shoulders before she could fall, looking up at the Kikushi member.
Does she have to go? She's extremely weak.
Lord Tomioka specifically requested for her. It's fine, Sanemi. Stay here with Obanai and Mitsuri. Kanao can take me to Giyu. I think we should bring Zenitsu too,
Kanao piped in.
It would be helpful if he could help me take you. You're still weak in your legs. Yeah, let me help you, Miss Sunafureku. It's the least I can do for all the times you've helped.
Yuki smiled, leaning on both Kanao and Zenitsu for support, before she started to move forward.
Come on, let's go find him.
The Kikushi member nodded, leading the way through the now ruined town. The sun was out, but rather than feeling warmth, the only thing Yuki could feel was the cold chill of death in the air. Yuki knew that many demon slayers had lost their lives during the fearsome battle against Kibutsuji. The dust was still lingering in the air, making Yuki cough as she inhaled it. The Kikushi member finally stopped in their tracks, before pointing towards Giyu, who was waving them over.
They're over there.
Yuki looked up, and her heart sank, seeing Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Giyu all crowding around Kyojuro, who was a bloody mess.
Kyo!
She shouted, rushing toward him, and dropping to her knees to try and shake him awake.
Kyojuro? Kyojuro, can you hear me? Miss Sunafureku, calm down,
Tanjiro said, looking at Yuki with a worried face.
He's heavily injured. You think I don't see that?
She yelled, her eyes welling with tears seeing her fiancé in this state. Yuki, we don't know if he's going to survive, Giyu admitted, not wanting to make eye contact with Yuki at all.
No, he can't die. I can't lose him. I love him too much.
His injuries are too severe, Yuki, Giyu yelled, grabbing her by the shoulders as tight as he could to snap her out of her head. He's not going to make it. Yuki pulled herself away from Giyu's grip, holding her hands above Kyojuro's body.
No, he's going to live. I don't care what I have to do. I won't let him die.
She started to channel her powers, pushing herself past her limit to try and do it. Kanao grabbed her wrists, that look of fear on her face growing.
Yuki, no! You can't use your powers to heal him. You're too weak. I don't care. I have to try.
Yuki yelled, now blocking out any sort of distraction as she watched her hands begin to glow. She was trying her best to heal Kyojuro, but she saw that the glow in her hands was flickering before fizzling out.
No, not now. Please, not now.
Yuki, you're too weak. You're going to hurt yourself if you keep trying, Giyu yelled.
No, I can't let things end like this,
she cried, feeling as her hot tears streamed down her face as they still tried to pull her away from Kyojuro, only trying to use her powers one more time.
I won't let you die, Kyojuro.
Yuki's hands were now glowing brighter than they had ever before, pushing herself past her limits. She screamed as she channeled all of her powers into healing his gaping wounds. After many minutes, they finally started to close. Her hands were violently shaking, and she could feel blood starting to trickle from her nose.
Yuki, you have to stop!
Kanao screamed, seeing the blood on Yuki's face.
You're going to kill yourself if you keep going! I don't care! Kyojuro's going to live!
She yelled, pushing herself past her limit and watching as the rest of his injuries healed under the glow of her hands. Yuki was breathing heavily before she fell back on the ground, finally feeling that strong lightheadedness overtaking her mind and body. She had used her power so much that she couldn't move. She could barely keep her eyes open, hearing the sound becoming a ringing in her ears that slowly started to fade away. Her eyes started to drift shut, not hearing any of her friends calling for her as she drifted into unconsciousness.